Hello, EntrePods, and welcome to Season 3. This season, we are interviewing and talking about ethical entrepreneurs who are making money and changing our world. Join us as we discover how we can step into power as creators and business owners to reshape business into one that values humanity, our planet, and our shared future. You won't want to miss a single episode.
How can I fix XYZ? Well, we're the people who fix XYZ, and this is how we, and this is why we do it and how we do it and come over here, right?
And absolutely. And there's a little piece before that too of helping people understand that they do have a problem, and that's where the really good copywriters are great at helping people understand. An example I always use, Jennifer, is have you ever seen that car commercial where the person's got something in both of their hands, and then all of a sudden they use their foot to open the trunk of the car? Mm-hmm. I didn't even know that was a problem until I saw that commercial. I was like, oh my God, I want that, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. And that's kind of what we get to do as marketers. We help people understand, there's a solution. There's a different way for me to do something. I didn't know about that. And now I get to know what that is. And now I want that in my life.
But on the flip side, too, you have those commercials, which always I laugh at. People who are just grossly incompetent at the most basic things. They're like, do you have a problem breaking eggs? And they take an egg and they just completely, and they're like, and I'm like, who breaks their eggs like that? I mean, it's really not that bad. Get the egg breaker, right? So then you have that is the old school, old side marketing where you're just tripping over everything. You can't even Life is too hard for you, so you're going to need this new product to do it. But you're right. You might not think about it. You think this is just the way it's supposed to be, right? And no, it doesn't have to be that way. There can be a better option or to ask the right questions. I talk to a lot of people that are in the service and they get out of the service and they have no idea that they need to do a better job. We need to get people into the military to market better to veterans because they have this wealth of programs. And most servicemen goes, I didn't even know how to even ask for that. I didn't even know what question to ask. And I've worked with a lot of veterans who are just, believe it or not, they find just Googling difficult. They don't know what questions to ask. They've been so told and driven. On one hand, they're the most self-sufficient people on the planet because they will just figure out a way. But then later on, you can say, wow, it could have been a lot easier if you would have just looked this or this up. And they're like, I wouldn't even known what to ask. I just kind of did it and made my own way. So on one hand, they're very strong. They're very pioneering. They're very driven. And on the other hand, we can really give them a lot of help because they end up struggling more than they're supposed to, especially with what they've done with us. So just when you say that for our audience that's listening, people say, well, I don't want to be told I have problems. Well, that's not what this is about. What this is about is explaining and getting the word out to people who are having problems and they don't even know to ask or that can be taken care of for them.
Yeah. And you're right. Some people don't want to be told they have problems, but those are typically the people that aren't going to buy your solution anyway. And I try to help my clients understand this. You're not looking for the people who don't realize that they don't have a real problem yet. You're looking for people who realize that, I could use this, or, I do have a problem, or I do need a solution, because those other people are just not aware. Mm-hmm. And if you spend all your time trying, and I know that as women particularly, we spend a lot of time, I just want to help other women. And that was my story, Jennifer. I was a single mom when I started my business, and I'm going to help other single moms who, are not making enough money. Those people are not always ready to make the next step. Mm-hmm. And we spend a lot of time trying to pull people along instead of really focusing on identifying those people who are ready. And that's another facet of marketing that people have to really understand. You're not trying to convince or persuade people. Mm-hmm. You're really looking for those folks who have already drawn a line in the sand and self-identified and said, you know what? I got to do better. I need something else. And that's who you want to focus on in marketing if you're going to get really good results consistently.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing in the newest trends of what I'm seeing is this attraction and repelling marketing. The idea of creating from the company on, going and creating your culture statements, who you're about, your why, for the staff, your why and your culture statements for your clients, and then everything from marketing into how you get in talent. Everything stems from this core that is so laser focused that you can't help not laser through the people that are searching for you, but you also are repelling the people who really aren't. Because, I can tell you, as having come from, recruiting and recruiter and sales background, where I sold encyclopedias door to door, the whole idea of selling ice to Eskimos and coffee is for closers and all of that. That is just a grind, and it's miserable, and nobody really wants to do that.